Suhana Destination Travels presents Ancient Biblical Locations, a Holy Land Tour. Mount Nebo. Moses was not allowed by God to enter the Promised Land, but he could climb Mount Nebo, see the Promised Land, and then die there. Mount Tabor. Jesus was transfigured on top of this mount. Moses and Elijah came down from heaven and talked with him there. The Church of Annunciation at Nazareth. Angel Gabriel appeared to Mary and told her that she would bear Jesus, the Son of God. Cana in Galilee, where Jesus turned water into wine. This site is now a church, and people from all over the world come here to get married. The Mount of Beatitudes. This is the mount where Jesus preached his Sermon on the Mount to thousands of people. The Tabgha Church. This is the place that is traditionally believed where Jesus fed the 5,000. Today, this Tabgha Church stands in its place. Capernaum. This is the native place of Peter. The ruins under this church is supposed to be his house. The walls that were from the 1st century BC, which were later turned into a church, probably Peter's home church. The Sea of Galilee. Jesus recruited his first disciples here, calmed the storm, and served breakfast after his resurrection. The River Jordan, where John the Baptist saw Jesus for the first time and baptized him. Mount Carmel, where Elijah rebuked the Israelite king Ahab and the prophets of Baal and offered a sacrifice to the Lord. The Valley of Elah. It is believed to be the place where David killed Goliath. The Mount of Olives. Jesus was finally taken up into heaven from this mount in the presence of his disciples. A Byzantine church stands here today to commemorate this event. Jesus often escaped into this mount to pray. One day, he stood on this mount, recalled an ancient prophecy against Jerusalem, and wept over it. The Church of Paternoster, where Jesus taught his disciples the Lord's Prayer. The Palm Sunday Road. This is the road that Jesus took to enter Jerusalem on a donkey. And a great multitude spread their garments in the way, cut down branches from the trees, and strawed them in the way. The Garden of Gethsemane. This garden is located at the base of the Mount of Olives, and here Jesus was betrayed and arrested prior to his crucifixion. Gethsemane means to press. The olives that are pressed by that heavy stone signify the pressure that Jesus faced before his crucifixion. This is the place where Mary was laid to rest. Caiaphas' house. Jesus was arrested and brought to the house of Caiaphas in the middle of the night, and was probably held in this dungeon till morning before being sent to Pilate. The Shepherd's Field. This is an Arab village of Beit Sahur. It is believed to be Boaz's field in the book of Ruth, and it's also the place where the angels appeared to the shepherds announcing the birth of Christ on Christmas Day. Manger Square, Bethlehem. It is believed to be the place where Jesus' manger was placed. The buildings all around the square are made of Jerusalem stone, which accounts for 40% of the regional economy. Ein Kerem. This is a suburb of Jerusalem where John the Baptist was born. A church stands in its place today. Pool of Bethesda. This is the pool where Jesus healed a lame man who could not enter into the pool by himself. Via Dolorosa. Jesus took this route from Antonia Fortress, where he was condemned, to Golgotha. Church of the Flagellation. This is the place where Jesus was scourged by the soldiers. Notice the board games drawn on the floor, probably played by the soldiers to pass the time. The Western Wall. It is also called the Wailing Wall, and it is believed to be the place where Abraham bound his son Isaac, and this is one of the most holiest places for the Jews. The Upper Room. It's a house in Jerusalem where Jesus observed the Passover with his disciples and ate his Last Supper. Mount of Temptation, where Jesus was tempted by the devil for 40 days. The Dead Sea. It's the lowest point on earth, full of mineral treasures. It is referred to as the Salt Sea in the Bible. Today, it's a luxury resort. Qumran Caves. A set of 11 caves discovered accidentally by a Bedouin shepherd boy who found 850 Hebrew scrolls of the Bible. Mount Sinai, the holy mountain of God in Midian, where God appeared to Moses in a burning bush and where the Israelites camped for a year on their way back to the Promised Land. This is supposed to be the burning bush that Moses saw on the mount. This is supposed to be the well that Moses dug while in the mount. River Nile, and it flows about 6,000 kilometers through the Sahara Desert, and it's a lifeline to 11 countries. Holy Family Church, built over the place in Egypt where Jesus, Joseph and Mary took refuge from King Herod. Pyramids of Giza, the largest pyramids of Pharaoh Khufu and one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world. Sphinx of Giza. It's the most famous sculpture of the Egyptian sun god.